Hello all, welcome to another video of Geeta's YouTube channel, and today we will be discussing about know your personality. What is personality? We will discuss that in the upcoming few minutes. The objective of this video, the methodology that we are going to use, the outcome of this video. It is very clearly mentioned. It is to build the confidence, to enhance the self-esteem of individuals or the team. It aims at grooming the participants, that is the listeners, through sensing them about proper behavior socially and professionally, in formal and informal circumstances. Why socially? Why professionally? Because when it is outside the home for an individual, it becomes the society or the societal life. So, other parties other than the internal circle, it is called as society. Professional environment is a place where an individual or group of people work for the common objectives. During any circumstances, no matter what the situation is, anybody is bound to be carrying their personality in a graceful way. Talking about the methodology, we are using several live examples, the classic conventional examples through the slides. And next, the standard tool that can be used to know the personality. And we have the hands-on sessions as well. And in the comment section, in the description section, the slides on the videos links and then the hyperlinks to estimate, to analyze or to assess our personality type is also mentioned. You can use it for future references. The outcome. Personal outcomes predicted by personality include subjective well-being. It is not abnormal to have any kind of personality based on individual or based on teamwork. It all depends on the circumstances in which the individual has brought up. There are many differences like cultural differences, educational differences, background, the society in which they were brought up, and etc. Many reasons will indulge in having or defining the type of personality on an individual. So let's look into the meaning of personality. It is again the collection of all possible ways if an individual reacts and communicates with others, no matter what the mindset is, no matter what the situation is, no matter what the kind of day that an individual has got or going through. That will define personality. It can also mean how people influence others as well as how they understand and view themselves. How is that we are getting attracted to individuals? Individuals getting attracted based on the aura, based on the attitude, based on the behavior, based on the tastes, the likes, dislikes and whatnot. N number of reasons are there to define and to get attracted to a particular kind of personality. It includes the pattern of internal and external measurable traits. Why it is called measurable traits? Because we are very sure when, at what point of time in a day or in a month, our own kith and kin is going to react or showcase or to enhance the version of individuals to show the personality or to predict the personality. It also includes the pattern of individual internal and external measurable traits and the interaction between the person and situation during the times of disaster, during the times of situations which is abnormal. The individuals will definitely have different faces, different masks altogether. After all, individuals are human beings. They are bound to different kinds of emotions at different point of day or a week, month or even a year. It all depends. Generally, personality is conceptualized in a conventional way that two countries like in South, it is based on the way it is getting projected. That is truly the appearances the individual looks like. You dress so shabby, you are very kind of very dark, not presentable, you don't groom, and we are not going to be completely judged. It is like they never wanted to deal with it. The presentation of an individual, the way we dress up, makes or defines our personality to some extent. It doesn't mean that only dressing, the way we project, the external features are adding value. It is one of the components, the way we talk, the way we communicate, the way we understand, the way we react, the way we perceive things. Everything is one of the reasons to define the personality of an individual. There are a number of definitions given by prominent professors and researchers, but the classic one is given by Skipman and Kahn. Personality can be defined as those inner psychological characteristics that both determine and reflect how a person responds to his or her environment. So, it is consciously and subconsciously defined means of projecting one's own self during situations, during normal and abnormal times as well. Psychology. Why psychology? Even from the younger days, from younger age till today, there are different kinds of personality traits that all of us have been experienced. When we are happy, we are a different person. When we are sad, we are a different person. When we are motivated, we are a completely different person. When we are disappointed, when we are in pain, when we are in stressful situation, every situation, every walks of life, the personality is being differentiated. When all these kinds of emotion, happy, sad, excited, or being in grief, the personality is different from the age that we have got maturity level. For example, when we are toddler, the personalities are different. When we become like adolescents, it is completely different. When we become something other after a decade, it's going to be completely different. The understanding towards life, the understanding towards individuals, accepting thoughts, everything can define personalities of individuals. It is like shaping individuals. It's molding individuals. When do you think the personality of an individual is getting defined? Any answer? Any answer? Which part or which phase of our life the personality of an individual or the human being is getting defined? No answer? The right answer is the moment we are there in the womb of our mother. That's the time when our personality is getting defined. We are not one individual who holds different personalities. We are from too many people. Our mother has different personality trait. Father has the different personality trait. Grandparents from father's side, grandparents from mother's side defines the personality trait. The moment when we are born, when we are in the crawling stage, we get motivated. The opposite people are going to clap when we are getting up from the moment we are falling down. The clap is heard. We energize ourselves to raise up. That's one other kind of personality definition. Then we go to school. The teachers define our personality. The behavior of other fellow students define our personality. The culture, the society is teaching and unteaching. So that also defines personality. The age factor with the friends, the buddies with whom we indulge in, they define our personality. The situations, the conditional clauses, if and but, during the transition period of our age, that defines our personality. The experience from one organization to the other organization where we get involved with too many people, that becomes different kinds of personality. So in an individual, if we take roughly, there are more than 20 different kinds of personality traits that we bound to adapt and to leave. So Personality is all about psychological perspectives where it is getting defined. Next, importance of personality. Why at all personality is important? It is based on creativity, retention, teamwork and productivity. Why only these four factors? Why not innovativeness? Yes, it is slightly nearing creativity. A person can be creative based on the type of personality that he is. Retention is also to some extent correct. We can still accept it because the personality trait cannot be abnormal. Teamwork. We are an individual person when we are at home. We are different person when we are out of home. We are somebody different who is in a separate office working all alone. We are different person when we work along with the team members. We are different person when we deal with our immediate boss or manager. We are different person when we deal with the owners of the organization, the chairperson, the vice president, the HR, whatnot. N number of traits, N number of people is equated. So, productivity. Productivity also matters based on personality. How it matters to productivity. The type of motivation that an individual should have, be it fear factor or be it in the opposite factor. Anything of its kind always has to be taken care for the betterment of individuals. We cannot always be demotivated. We cannot always be bouncing back based on circumstances. But when situation demands, it is to be taken care. Theories of personality. There are n number of theories given by Westerners as well as our own people have given various theories of personality. Psychoanalytic theory, socio-psychological theory, trait theory, self-theory. All these four different kinds of theories form personality theory. Psychoanalytical theory, which comprises of the term psycho, which is deeper thought process, deeper conscious and subconscious level. That deals with psychoanalytic theory. Socio-psychological theory, which means not only with the internal perspective but also on the external perspective, the theory has been formed. Trait theory. What is the literal meaning for the term trait? Trait is an attribute, it's a character, it's a feature, it's a condition, it's kind of portraying of some kind of activity or the perception that an individual or group of people can carry forward. That's called a trait. Self-theory, it's all about individuals that deal with. So let's now look into detailed discussions on personality. Now look into the image very carefully. Image 1, image 2, image 3. Watch out every image for just 10 seconds each. What do you think the images? There are three different kinds of images. A few of you can say it's kind of an emotion. Few of you can say these are faces. Few of you can say based on creativity they depict something. And few of them say it's kind of the attributes that an individual possesses. To be very honest, these are different kinds of masks. The first image says to be a pity version. The second image says to be normal. The third image says it to be astonished. So, here when we look into the details of the word personality, it is minced into two different perspectives. From the Latin word, it is derived as persona, persona, which means mask, set of qualities that makes distinct from others. Every one of us will not have the same kind of personality. It all differs from individual to individual, time to time, situation to situation, circumstances to circumstances, etc. Includes emotional qualities, ways of thinking and behavior. So personality has three attributes, like emotional qualities can also be defining the personality trait. The way we think. For example, I'm having an painful day. Somebody, the near one, is no more. How can others expect me to be happy? But at the same time, just because I am in grief, I cannot expect everybody to be in grief. I hold a very strong personality. I see that my sadness, my grief does not affect anybody in the organization or in anybody's personal lives, because productivity matters. It's not being inhumane. It's being human in a positive way, that with no distractions, things has to be carried out. Next, watch out this very carefully. These are the different kinds of emotion depiction that is clustered into 4 different types: choleric, sanguine, phlegmatic, melancholic. I'm very sure all of us have heard about all these terminologies. For example, when it comes to melancholic, it's about being anxious, worried, unhappy, suspicious, serious and thoughtful. When you watch out all these terminologies, half a dozen terminology, it says which is not presentable or pleasantable. It is not okay, which is abnormal. But when at the same time, when you see sanguine, playful, easygoing, sociable, carefree, hopeful, contented, which creates an aura for being positive. At the same time, when we watch out phlegmatic, it is reasonable, principled, controlled, persistent, steadfast, and being in calm. Next, being in choleric, excitable, egocentric, exhibitionist, impulsive, histrionic, and active. The different versions of emotions can always add value to the kind of personality that we carry for that particular phase period of life. So, when age grows, experience grows, we are all bound to understand the reality, accept the facts, and to move forward by dealing with people in professional and personal lives. Watch out this image. They are thoughts, feelings, and behaviors. So when we have a happy day, our thought process, everything is going to be super cool. Yes, it is going to be very presentable. And when we talk about feeling, it is all like completely normal. It is all like completely acceptable. We wanted to explore more when we feel good. Behavior. The behavior of individuals during the happy period of time or that particular phase in a day is going to give a positive vibe. It is not going to be very abnormal. It is the way of describing the individual differences. But at the same time, towards the thought process, feeling and behavior, when an individual is trying to be coming out of the abnormal day in that period of time, it means they cannot be very energetic, they must be feeling lost, their thoughts are not going to be very positive, and somewhere they wanted some motivation or some kind of moral support to be given to those individuals. Next, look at this image carefully. Yes, when you look into this, what is that we are able to understand? How we discovered that virtual reality can profile your personality. This article was extracted from one of the leading profiles, and the source is also given. By this virtual reality visual digit or device also, the personality can be defined, but still without talking, but still without even communicating, but still with no other means. How it can be defined? Everything is done based on the programming. Everything is done based on the development. But still, it's a fact. Factors influencing personality development. What are all the reasons through which the personality of an individual can be worked upon? There are three different attributes: biological factor, sociological factor, psychological factor. Biological factor, which is through our biological senses: physic, chemic, nervous system. When we talk about physic, it talks about the way we are getting projected, the way the external attributes. We are tall, we are short, we are plumpy, we are thin, we have the long nails, we have the short forms, etc. Gives an example for physic. Chemic, the body smell. The smell of an individual can also define. It doesn't mean that we have to bath or unbath. No. It gives an aura. It gives the smell when an individual is present in that particular time or that event. Nervous system. It talks about the mental well-being, the nervous systems, how excited we are during the times of both positive and negative. How is that we are able to accommodate ourselves during what kind of period of time. Sociological factors: home, school, language, culture. When we talk about home, we are completely a different person when we are with our own family or friends, comprisingly with the kith and kin. When we are with them, we are lost with our own consciousness. We are completely our own selves. We own that situation. We own that self. When we are in school, we are still the same, but we don't give a damn on whatever the individual is about. That is from different culture, different creed, different religion and different upbringings. It doesn't matter to us when we are in toddler levels. But at the same time, when we grow up to the higher education levels, it is completely different. Even the language, the culture, the region of that province, of that country will definitely define or give a different shade towards the personality of an individual. So altogether, the society plays a major role, or it tracks the maximum percentage in defining the personality of an individual. There is nothing to do with the personal factors when the society is going to give us some lessons. Psychological factors. As we discussed, psychological factors, the way we think, the way we motivate others, the way we motivate our own selves, intelligence, the way we think, react and enact, those attributes, including the kind of emotion that we undergo in a daily basis, attitude, the definition of individuals' ability to showcase interest, sentiment. Man is a social animal, but still when it comes to psychological perspective, it is yes, society also molds individuals. Intelligence, the way we think, where we have got our studies, are there the individuals who are motivating? Are there individuals who are ensuring for the development of individuals? Motivation, how often do we get demotivated? If so, when we are in the demotivated period of time, how is that we motivate ourselves? Who are all the prime reasons? Is it the parents? Is it the friends? Or is it the company colleagues? It defines, it depends. There makes the difference. When it is going to be the business organization, the way we get motivated is different. The way they handle us is different. But at the same time, the motivation from the parents is comparatively different from the motivation that we get from our cousins, who are almost like friends. They know in and out of us. So they know exactly what is that we want. They know exactly how is that we are to be treated during that particular stressful period of time. Emotion. Emotion regulation is a most important attribute that an individual should have. There are different kinds of emotions, but at the same time, the emotion regulation will always leverage individuals. Being happy, being sad, being excited, being astonished, being in grief, everything is different kinds of emotion. It doesn't mean that every individual should undergo one different kind of emotion. It doesn't matter. Any individual can undergo any kind of emotion at any time of a day. Interest. What is that I like to do? What is that I don't like to do? What is that I am interested into? What is that drags me off? That defines. It is known to me as an individual, but to our family members, the likes and dislikes, the intentions, interest of us is very well known. But we cannot expect the same from the outsiders, which is from the society. What is the society? The peer members who is working along with us, the team members, the colleagues. Maybe they are not able to understand why at all we don't get interest on certain things. Why is that we like? They don't get into each and every details of each and every employee. It's just the plain yes or no. If it is good to go with, they proceed. If not, there is going to be abnormal or there is going to be a layback. That's all. But when the condition is very serious, it has to be taken care. Sentiment. Yes, sentiments. We are prone to sentiments. Man is again a social animal, we call it. But then sentiments are there based on our likes, based on the practices that we follow, based on the belief system, based on the trust factor that we have. The personality can always be defined. Watch out these terminologies. When we strongly see these 5 different terminologies, it gives us different sets of thoughts. Extrovertionness, agreeableness, neuroticism, openness, conscientiousness. All these terminologies are psychological perspectives to some extent than an organizational behavior. But then they have got an inner note. When we deal about openness, these are called the different kinds of traits. Openness, conscientiousness, extroversion, agreeableness and neuroticism. They are otherwise called as ocean. Personality is equating to ocean. We cannot forget this. Openness, conscientiousness, extroversion, agreeableness and neuroticism. When we talk about openness, it deals about imagination, feelings, actions, ideologies, which hasn't put into practice, which hasn't given any kind of output. But when we slice them into 2 factors, which is the low score and the high score, we get the 2 different perspectives. When we deal with the low score kind of personality towards openness, it's being practical, it is conventional, prefers routine with individuals. And when it's dealing with the high score, it means it is curious, wide range of interest and it is completely independent. Conscientiousness. When we deal with conscientiousness, it is the competence, self-discipline, thoughtfulness, goal-driven. These are all the attribute traits that we can see in certain individuals. Those people with low score in personality will definitely be impulsive, careless, disorganized. And completely opposite, when the personality score is high, they are going to be hard workers, they are dependable ones, and they will be definitely organized. Extroversion. These are individuals with traits who are sociability, assertiveness, emotional expression. When their emotional key or the personality key is very low, they are quiet, they are reserved, they are withdrawn. But the same is opposite when it comes to the level of personality. They are outgoing, they are warm, they seek adventure. When it is dealing with agreeableness, it's being cooperative, trustworthy, good natured. But this can be divided into two different perspectives. One in low level, the other is high level. When it comes to the low level, it is very critical, uncooperative, suspicious. When it is opposite, it's being helpful, it is trusting, it is empathetic. Next, dealing with neuroticism. It deals with tendency towards unstable emotion. Tendency towards unstable emotion. Being in calm, even-tempered, secure. They deal with low score of personality. People who are anxious, who are unhappy, prone to emotional diligence. Then they have high score of personality. So these are the traits that comprises of different levels of attributes or attributions. Next, let's now get into the personality assessment of individuals. The personality assessment of individuals can be done based on 5 criteria or through 5 strategies or techniques or methods. 1. Projective method. 2. Personality inventories. 3rd, interview method. 4th, case study method. And then observation method. Let's now get into the details. Projective method. What is projective method? The way it is getting showcased. If somebody is going to have a very huge or a louder tone with so much of arrogance seen, then that person is treated to be an arrogant person. He is very extrovert in nature. This is what the impression that it is getting created. So what it gets projected, that's the perception that we carry forward. That is projection method. Personality inventories. They have different kinds of inventories. Inventories are questionnaires or tools that can be worked upon. When we work upon inventories, it definitely has several impacts because it takes back so much of attributes, so much of classic or backward thoughts about our own selves. It can be conditional, it can be unconditional. These are questionnaires where the set of questions is being framed irrespective of any kind of statements or procedural aspects. Any events is asked to be imagined and they will be asked to answer or rate. Based on the calculation, based on the rubric sheet, an individual or a group of individuals can be assessed to know the kind of personality that they possess. Interview method. It is very much known to everybody. Interview where two parties get involved, the interviewer and the interviewee. The interviewer is a person who seeks questions to the opposite person. The interviewer is the person who answers the opposite person. The way they answer to any kind of question, the way they react to the question that they are asked, the way they give justifications, the way they deal with conditional and unconditional questions defines the kind of personality who the individual is. Next, case history method. Case history method is one method which is very conventional, which is very much helpful for individuals to have a check and cross check, which means it has already happened in the past. It has got its literature. It has got its own theory. So the same has happened in the future or going to happen in the future, or it is happening at this period of time in the right moment. Then we go back to the past and then we talk. Yes, it was during that period of time. This fellow has behaved in such a way. It is citing to the older activity or the act that has been performed. That happened during that days and now it has again happened. It's the situation. Next, observation method. Observation. It is observing through our naked eyes. What we witness, what we see, what we experience, be it in texture, be it in audibility, be it through smell, be it through visualization, be it with whatever we hear. That also becomes observation. there are several parameters when we deal or discuss with observation method. So, the personality of an individual can be assessed based on several parameters with different strategies like projective method, case history method, personality inventories, interview method, and observation method. Now, let's time to have some game. I'm sure you people are interested into this. So, what is this going to be? Any guesses? No? I'll just move forward. Who is this? Does he sound like a karate master or a kung fu master? Any guess? Your guess may be right. And now, any guess? I'll give you a clue. He is from one part of the world. I mean, he is from our neighboring country. Dalai Lama. Dalai Lama. He is called the spiritual leader around the globe. There are different kinds of leaders. But who is a spiritual leader? One who leads spirituality for the world to have a peace place to live. So, we are going to work on the Tibetan personality test. Why Tibetan personality test? This is kind of a test that defines the personality type of individuals. It makes us to know an unknown facts on our own selves. There are few questions where we have to be answering to the best of our own abilities known to us. But trust me, it is very much fun to do with. The quiz has only 3 questions and the answers can surprise you, which means there are going to have only 3 questions. So that the answer has to be really genuine. We cannot overthink. We cannot take so long time to give out our answers. There are no right answers or wrong answers. This is an honest questionnaire which could tell you a lot about your own trust. So, here is the first question. Cow, tiger, sheep, horse, pig. Place them all in the order of your preference. I repeat, there are 5 different animals shown in front of you. Cow, tiger, sheep, horse, pig. Place all these 5 animals based on your preference. For example, in your paper, 1 is equal to name, 2 is equal to one other animal name. Like that, 5 you have to be ordering. Let me also have a try. Yes. So, this is the first question. Now I am going to the second question where 5 different things are lined up. For each and everything like dog, cat, rat, coffee and sea. 5 different things are there. So, when you think about dog, you have to give a word. When you think about sea, you have to give a word. So, for 5 different things, you have to equate one word. Let's make a try. It is dog is equal to cat is equal to rat is equal to coffee is equal to sea is equal to. I hope everybody is equated a word. Let's go to the last question. There are 5 different colors. You see the circles? They are 5 different colors: yellow, orange, red, white and green. Give those colors to individuals. For example, yellow color is to one person you have to give. Orange color you have to give to another person. Red color is to somebody else. Don't take too long. You have to make it faster. Yellow, orange, red, white, green. Write the person's name, but don't tell it to anybody. It is a surprise. I have finished mine. So we have answered 3 different questions. First question is based on the different animals. We have to be arranging them in order. Second question, 5 different things to whom we have to write a word each. Third question, 5 different colors we have to be equating to 5 different individuals. And now can we check out the answer? Yes. Now look into this. Read. Cow signifies career. Tiger signifies pride. Sheep signifies love. Horse signifies family. Pig signifies money. So what was the first question? We have to be arranging 5 different animals based on our preferences. So just check out what is that you have identified or lined up. I have identified horse, which ranks first for me, and pig, money, second for me. Third, cow signifies my career to me. Tiger, my pride, which stands for. Sheep, love life, that makes last impact in me. Maybe the age experiences may differ. So that is why it is differing to me when compared to your answer. Second question. We were told to equate a word to each terminology. So dog is what you think of your own personality. I've wrote it as loyalty. Cow is what you think of your partner. Good. Rat is what you think of your enemies. Coffee is what you think about. Yes. See is how you see your own life. I'm sure many of us are having fun reading our answers. Third, colors. Third question was, give one person to each color. When we talk about yellow, yellow is someone you will never forget. I wrote like my daughter. Orange is someone you consider your true friend. Red is someone you truly love. White is your soul twin. Green is someone without whom life is not the same. Just see the names, just see the things and see the order. These things will define our personality. To me, 85% the answers are correct. So my personality can be defined based on these answers. To me, this Tibetan personality test is completely acceptable, and hope the same with you. I hope you all enjoyed with that Tibetan test. Around the globe, if we see, with that Tibetan test, many people have accepted, yes, it is true. One questionnaire or one inventory is created around the globe. It is just like that, cannot evolve. It has to get approvals, it has to be proved, it has to be disproved, it has to be defended to put them into practice. So, to me, my perception is this personality test is worth attending. So once in a while, you can surprise with your loved ones, with your liked ones, with this kind of personality test also. Next, look at this image carefully. It says, personality can predict who is a rule follower and who floats COVID-19 social distancing guidelines. Please go back to 5 years, half a decade, rewind back and see what happened to the globe. We were all in pandemic. We were all like in abnormal. Everywhere it was like social distancing. After our school national, during the national anthem or during the parade, we used to be in like 1 arm distance, 2 arm distance. After that, it is COVID period of time where we have to make distances. So, did you see in the bottom where in the floor orange and red color footprints are there? These are stickers. It shows where any individual have to stand. For example, the person in the last, did you see the trolley is kept behind the sticker and where the distance is maintained. And the person who is in black suit, did you see? The trolley is kept mid of the sticker and the person is not in line. But at the same time, did you see the second person? She is also standing mid of the trolley on the sticker, but still she seems to be on the road. And lastly, there is an individual. The man seems to be standing before the sticker and we could see that he is standing with the trolley ahead of the line or place where he is supposed to. Even this also defines the personality trait of individuals and it is extracted. The source is also given below. Now it's time to get into the proven theories of personality. Observe this. Id, ego, superego. Many pronounce it as ID. It is id, ego, superego. 3 parts of personality. A person can have a number of personality traits during his or her lifetime. But just imagine, what is id, what is superego, what is ego? The picture itself says it is evil. It is a devil principle. It is not going to take us or it will not lead us to a peaceful place or situation or scenario. But superego is a pleasing principle. It is an angel principle. It always talks and it always leads to ethics, ethical perspective. It stops us in doing disaster to our own selves, be it soul, be it personal individual itself, which means in physical perspective also. And ego is our own self, where we are between id and superego. What is that we are going to do when certain circumstances are there? For example, imagine yourself to be a school student. Your exams are nearing in 1 month period of time. But at the same time, you are not preparing well and you are getting influenced by your friends or relatives, some of your relatives, to go on a trip for 1 week. 30 days is all you have for your exam. But for 7 days, your friends or relatives are inviting you to join on a trip. What is that you are going to select? Your id says, yes, I wanted to enjoy. All these months I have been studying. I'm very sure I'm going to get the best of the scores. But then what is happening if I don't study for 7 days? This is all your id says. But your superego says, it's okay. 7 days is not a big deal. But then that 7 days of preparation can make you feel more comfort during the exam time. After 30 days, it's all complete free for a longer period of time. You have a long vacation. Those 7 days of vacation or trip can be utilized there so that during examination, you need not have to be worrying. This is what the superego says. So now imagine you are between id and superego, which is you can be standing between the angel principle and the devil principle. What is that you are going to select is your ego. When you decide to select your superego, then it is completely fine. When you are selecting your id, by knowing or unknowing, the trauma, the situation, the disaster part or the traumatic experience is experienced by you only. So, be it any condition, be it personal or professional, when you wanted to define or shape or Sharpen your personality. Always work on id and superego principles. It will be very difficult in the beginning phase if at all you are practicing. But once you start practicing, it will be an easy task and it will be a cakewalk, where each and every instances, every decisions in your life, you will decide based on this kind of principles only. So this kind of theory is called psychoanalytical theory. Isn't this interesting? Yes, it seems to be so funny, but then it's very interesting and it adds a lot of moral values no matter what our age or experience is. I'm sure you will not forget the psychoanalytic test. Always, when any conditional clauses is there, two things will always be on both your sides. The ego, the superego. And you're the ego. What is this ego going to select? Is it the superego or the id principle? Let's walk into the next representation. It's the moral choice. As I told you now, it is a moral choice. It has to be morality. It has psychoanalysis in it. What is that we wanted to choose? When we choose moral values, it is going to be very normal, very healthy habit or very healthy actuals that we work upon for the better future, and then it's going to be accurate. And when we are choosing something abnormal, which is not natural, which is unnatural, which is falsified and which is unhealthy, it is not going to give us any kind of support in the near future. Next is the kind of personality types. Yes, all this while we were talking about type of personality, personality types, or whatever the kind of mask, different versions of our own selves, be it individual, be it team, be it internal, be it external. But just imagine with those terminologies: extroverts, introverts, sensors, intuitives, thinkers, feelers, judges, perceivers. Did you see? Eight different types of base level of personality is all we have. But it is not that one kind we all will end up. It is one in rarest of the case that we can see one person holding one kind of personality type only. But the situations, the environment where we live, the peer members, the family support, the peer support, the peer pressure, family pressure, every abnormality will shape or sharp the individual's personality types. When we talk about extroverts, all that we know is it must be an easygoing person. They are very much approachable, they are very much energized, and they are very much comfortable to work with. Yes, that is extroverts. When it comes to introvert, it's completely different. They are working all alone. They are like very much comfortable only in the small group. They wanted to be working on with fullest focus, which will also take time. Sensors are individuals that they can be realistic always, who works on focus mode, and they have common sense which is to the greater extent, and they will be working always with the past experience that they have hold. Intuitives are individuals who focuses on the possibilities, where the possibilities, and they see the wider scope or the wider spectrum that has to be always be seen. Thinkers tend to make their decisions using logical analysis. Objectives are very clearly understood by those thinker kind of individuals, and they will always see the advantages and disadvantages out of anything that they work upon. They will always be the honest individuals. The consistency is seen. The fairness is definitely washed upon. So people like who are thinkers kind of individuals are very sometimes difficult to work with, because they always work on facts on ground. They always work with the proofs that they definitely need. Feelers. Who are feelers? Feelers tend to be sensitive and they are always cooperative in nature. They will always be deciding upon what is their own personal values. They cannot be bypassing their principles, their values, their ethics. It will always be in mind in whatever acts or deeds that they perform. Judges. Who are judges? Judges tend to be organized, or they are kind to be preparing enough, like it make to stick to plans. They are comfortable following most rules. They are like calculus. They are like, the timetable where they cannot deviate and they don't want to deviate to the maximum extent. 90% they see that they stick on the daily routine. The normal check has to be done for them. The perceivers are people who always can have kind of options and opinions at time matters to them. So these are all the kind of personality types that all of us will definitely have. When next is Holland's theory of personality, job fit theory. What is job fit theory? In the terminology itself, it is very much understandable. Job, which is work, fit, what kind of individual will fit into what kind of job. That is job fit theory. But there are different people who has proposed different kinds of job fit theory. But in the global context, we are following one or two people, that is Albert's and then Holland's. When you walk about this Holland's theory of personality job fit, we have type, personality and the occupation, which is the job that really suits them. For people who are realistic, their personality will be shy, they are very stable and they are being practical. For those kind of individuals, they must be mechanic, they can fit into farmer, they be assembly line worker. Investigative type of individuals, for them, they are analytical, they are independent. They will always be analyzing what is what, how and where exactly it is. And those kind of individuals can become the biologist, they can be economist, they can be mathematician, because always they are seeking for answers, they are seeking for the reasons. Next, people who are social will always be sociable and cooperative in their personality trait. Those kind of individuals can be professors, can be teachers, they can be social workers, and they can always be a very good counselors. People who are conventional, they are practical, they are evident, because they don't cook up things. They don't see something which is very abnormal way. They see what is on the grassroots level. They watch out on facts on ground. They call a spade. These employees or these kind of individuals can become bankers, accountant, managers and bank tellers. Enterprising. What is enterprising? People who are ambitious and energetic, who are kind of extroverts we can call, but still when we slice down, we have differences in all of those. People who are ambitious and energetic can become the salesperson, can be the best, the marketers, can be the lawyers, because they always have to be working on their mouth, because they have to be convincing people. The art of convincing people is there in many, but then for marketers and for lawyers, they just bring out the best of the best answers with any kind of the opposite parties, the other individuals. Artistic. If an individual is seen to be artistic, they are very creative, they are idealistic, they are imaginative with their personality type. They can be painters, they can be drawers, they can be writer, they can be musicians. At times they can be dancers as well, theatre artists, whatnot. So I hope you people are aware right now what is job fit theory. Individuals trait with that personality type that mixes the job. That is Holland's theory of personality. Now trait. Traits are attributes, characteristics or features. Alpert's trait theory, Cattell's trait theory. Previously we discussed about that, and now Gordon Alport's trait theory. Trait, we all know, it's an attribute, it's a feature, it's a cluster. And he is again a psychologist describing 4,000 words, describing different personality traits. And he himself has found out one dictionary which has got 4,000 words, it seems. He has categorized them into three different criteria: cardinal, central, and secondary traits. Cardinal traits. Again, I repeat, cardinal, central, and secondary traits. Cardinal traits. Traits that dominate an individual's whole life. Please imagine and please accept the fact, the trait that dominates, with that we live, with that we practice the whole life, often to the point that the person becomes known specifically for these traits. For example, Dr. Geeta, she is approachable. Since my school days, I still hold the same tag. Maybe nothing abnormal has happened in my life. No disaster so far. Touch wood, God's willing. But then imagine if some traumatic experience that I had to undergo in my life, then the trait can get shaken. It can be diluted. It can be changed. Alport suggested that cardinal traits are rare and tend to develop later in life. Not very normal. It is very abnormal. There is a saying that something is not performed at the age of 6, we cannot be performing at the age of 60. It talks about the physics. It talks when we are plumpy, extra gaining weight and all that, we have to be reducing it then and there. If it is not the case during the later stages of our life, we cannot perform to reduce because the age does not support. The mindset does not support. The society will not support. If at all something abnormally I lose weight, just imagine people are going to talk, Dr. Geeta is suffering from diabetic. That's why she has gone thin. No matter what, how genuinely I make my jogging, I make my walking, I make my workout, the society is going to comment like that. So those are the cardinal traits. What is central traits? These are the general characteristics that form the basic foundations of personality. It is from the base level. It is from the grassroots level. Terms like intelligent, being honest, shy, anxious are considered central traits. These are the traits, the principles, the values, the ethics, or that is there in the DNA that cannot be shaken until and unless it is deeply getting affected or infected. Secondary traits. What are secondary traits? These are the traits that are sometimes related to attitudes or preferences and often appear only in certain situations or under specific circumstances. Example, impatient while waiting in traffic. This is secondary trait. The best example is waiting in traffic. Sometimes we cannot stand on queue on road. During the types of COVID, we all were on queue no matter what, how rich we are or how poor we are. Everybody were treated equally. Everybody had to wait for anything to be purchased in the local stores. That is secondary traits. Cattle's 16 personality factor theory. So we discussed about Holland's job fit theory. Now it is trait theory, which is again clustered into two. Now we are working on Cattle's 16 personality factor theory. He says 16 personalities like warm, abstract thinker. They cannot too much think on. They cannot complicate it. They just look into the facts. They just know the exact fine figure or the picture and they work on, or they make decisions based on whatever the data, the details that they have got. Emotionally stable. Why they are emotionally stable? Because the experience, the total number of work that they have done, be it with error or zero error, be it with scrap or with less scrap, any kind, they are people who are trained through their experience to make a stability in their emotional state of mind. They are dominant enough on what they say. Enthusiastic is one of the way where they are prone to react and act. Conscientious, yes, they know exactly what they want. They know exactly how they are bound to take it forward. Bold, tender-minded, which is like, I know this, it is something which is very least prioritized, which is very abnormal, I know the intensity of it, that attitude will not work. Tender minded, keep it simple, keep it low profile, so that every answer or every solution seems to be very much simplified. Suspicious, yes, you have to watch like a hawk. Every time it is like, you know, the disaster thing should not happen, something very abnormal cannot happen. That should be the criteria. We should not be offending anybody's time, anybody's effort, anybody's thought process, nothing. Keep it very simple, imaginative, creative. What happens if it is not? What so big, so huge is going to happen in a profit phase or in a loss phase? Shrewd, being cautious, being very shrewd enough to see what is likely to come and to be prepared. Apprehensive, always to be ready in performing things. Experimenting, it's like, you know, to get it with all our hands on. You have to know in and out of several things to handle things. Self-sufficient. What is self-sufficient? It talks about very much comfortable to be with. Self-sufficient. For me, this is more than enough. If I want, I will definitely approach. If I want, I will definitely seek for advice. I will definitely make a consultancy. I will make the consultation with the wise wisdom, people who has got wisdom. And then control tense. Controlling emotions is the biggest art that all of us should be working on, no matter what the age is. Being in tender age, it is okay if we are likely to get abnormal reactions, but then once the maturity level is faced, then I'm sure we have to be working on the emotional level, or whatever the projections that we prone to showcase it. Tense. Tense is one of the strongest emotions I feel, and that has to be shown in the apt place at the apt time. Every time being intense will not help. It creates unnecessary trauma, unnecessary stressful situations which we cannot even imagine can cause so much damage to our lives. So this is Catel's 16 personality factor theory. I just want everybody to have a look on the factor low score, high score. If the person who is very intelligent, their low level of personality is seen, they are very unstable, they are instinctive. And those people, individuals who are intelligent with high level of personality, they're cerebral, they are analytical. Emotional stability is seen in an individual. If their personality score is less, they are easily irritable, they are very much moody. And people with the high level of personality score, they have to be level headed, they are very calm, they are able to adjust, they are able to confine themselves. So there is nothing abnormal. Okay, dutifulness. People who are untraditional, who are rebellious in their thought, they have to be, come what may, I have to make a try, no matter what the success rate is going to give or not. That's the low score level of personality individuals. And the straight opposite is there for individuals who has got its conformity and traditional aspects. These people, they will always travel through the past and see the success rates and then perform accordingly. The damage level, the collateral damage is going to be comparatively less when compared to other kinds of traits. So once this video is done, if you're very much interested to know about the different criteria of personality, where it possesses the low key and high key, you can definitely watch out this video. Next, self-theory. Self-theory. Self, me, you, theory, personality theory. It is dealing with the self-image. It is the ideal self, the authentic me with no adulteration. Looking glass self, the real me, the aura, the authentic person, the real one, real self. Why I mean the real, the authentic, the glass, the self, the mirror image. Why am I using all these words? It is just because it is in the beginning of the video, I just showed you 3 images of different kinds of marks. The word personality is derived from the Latin word persona, which means the mask. Every time all of us are wearing masks. The best example we discussed is when we are with our family members, when we are with our children, when we are with our colleagues, when we are with the best buddies, when we are with the colleagues, when we are with the officials, top officers, different levels of masks we use it. So that deals with self-theory. Social learning and behavioral theory. What is social learning behavioral theory? Social, the society, the societal perspectives. According to this theory, human behavior is learned. Yes, it can be acquired, it can be learned. But why it can be learned? How? Something which is admirable, something which feels wow, this is looking best on somebody, why don't I have it on me, so that I will also be a better person. Some extroversions I can also be working upon. Yes, so anything which is positive, which is acquired, which is learned is acceptable to the society, but which is opposite, that is showcasing us to be an abnormal person, so that cannot be taken care. So that must be having a wiser choice in what we acquire and what we adopt. Two types of learning. Learning through experience and learning through observations. That's called vicarious learning. Learning through observations from others, it's called vicarious learning. But these days we don't use this domain terminologies, but I strongly recommend and suggest, please use all these terminologies so that you become a better person when you project yourself, when you present yourself. It gives a different impression on the opposite listener. So learning through experience, whatever the trial and error, whatever the mistakes, whatever the errors that we perform, it's completely owned by us. It is the complete us. So there should be no abnormality. You got it? Yes. Then regard situation as an improvement, a determinant of behavior. Yes, situation also defines individual. For example, I'm a very calm and quite composed person in my personal life, but when it comes to the societal life, I'm completely different. I wanted to be very lively, I wanted to enjoy my life, I wanted to ensure I am a socialite, and I wanted to ensure that I enjoy each and every culture, every bit of the culture that it is adopted by different individuals. This is making difference. When you deal with society, you cannot say, no, I am an introvert, I cannot do, I am not for it. No, you cannot. You have to be. There is a conventional classic saying proverb, be like a Roman when you are at Rome. Be a Roman when you are at Rome. Which means we have to be adapting to the place where we are, to keep ourselves accommodated, to keep ourselves comfortable, to keep ourselves in a lively way. So social learning behavior theory is very much important in day-to-day life. That too in the present scenario, the concepts like visibility, the concepts like social media, the reach and everything makes an impact. Our profession sometimes demands that the visibility too matters. And watch out this. Once you see this, is your personality permanent? New research says no. Yes, that's what we have been discussing in the beginning of this video also. It is not permanent. It gives different versions. It gives different kinds of shades, masks, based on situation, based on culture, based on events that has happened, based on whatever kind of people that we come across our life, be it in personal, be it in professional also. Quiz time. It's time for pop-up. I'm sure all of us are waiting for this. So I wanted to give you one other surprise element, just like the Tibetan test that we have performed. I'm sure all of us have enjoyed, and if at all the listeners like you or the viewers like you, subscribers like you have accepted that at least 50%, 50 to 60%, if you feel like the personality test is good, acceptable to you, then yes, that's good to go with. And for me, to be very really honest, just because I shared, I'm not overwhelmingly sharing it to you. For me, 85% it is correct. Okay, so there's a website, https www.123test.com, which gives us 4-letter kinds of personality evaluation trait, where you go to this link, you have to make a click, and it will ask you for the basic details like your name and age, gender, and then it will give you some 60 questions. Every question is very much understandable, and those questions are easy to understand and answer. Don't take too much of your time. Just read once or twice and click on the options given. Very easy, very simple. Hardly it should take some 5 to 6 minutes for you to complete this quiz. Once you complete the 60 questions, you answer and you click on the submit button. It is going to give you 4 different words with a page of explanation on your personality type. Same just like Tibetan test, this test also will give you different kinds of answer. But trust me, too much of variations will not be there. Plus or minus 20% differences can be there. Maybe the questions are different. Maybe the mindset after hearing about so much about personality, slight variations can be seen. So I hope you will enjoy this. Let me know once you perform this test. Comment on the below or contact me for further discussions. Just for you to have an example to the previous activity. After clicking that, you will answer all the questions and then you will be given 4-letter words I told you: extrovert, introvert, sensor, intuitors, feelers, thinkers, etc. These are the kind of personalities that you will definitely come across. It will not be one. Trust me, we will not have one. Any 4 combinations we will have. Again I say, the 4 combinations will differ based on the age, based on the experience, based on the culture, based on the society where we are living. So that matters. You understood? So after that, please get back to this video, freeze this moment and just check on what are all the criteria, what are all the ideologies that you have. If you are a thinker, if you are a feeler, if you are a judger, you will be surprised and it will be really fun to know with. Next, job fit theories. As we said, after performing you get 4 letters. Out of that 4 letters, for example, if you are able to get ESTJ, it stands for extroverts, sensors, thinkers, judges. You get the 4 combinations of your personality type. Then you become the best manager, then you become the judge, then you become the lawyer, you become the prison warden, authentic director, school principal, college professor, administrative officer, policeman, army person, whatnot. All these fit into your box. These are the kinds of jobs that you will be definitely fitting into. Okay, isn't it fun to know what is that best suit? If at all we have landed up in one kind of job or sector where we feel we are not happy, we are not contented, maybe it's a right time that we can get to know, we can make some SWOT analysis just informed in the previous video, and then you can make a shift over if you feel like, or you can also make consultancy, where even the consultancy these days are making the best big money. So the only way to get a great work is to love what you do, is said by Steve Jobs. I repeat, the only way to do great work is to love what you do. Yes, enjoy what you do, no matter what the politics is happening around you, no matter what, how much ever they drag you down. Keep yourself always live, push yourself. Pull back yourself when they invite you for whatever abnormalities. Push and pull factor, again it's there in us. It is there still in our fist. We allow them or we disallow them. That matters. And watch out this image. It's like the pencil sketches that you can see. There are more than a dozen kind of individuals that you can figure it out. We see Mahatma Gandhi ji. We see Professor Einstein, we see Mother Teresa, we see Lincoln, we see the African president. And why I am showing you this is, these are all the different kinds of personalities whom they have. For example, I am a person who has got ISFP, intuitor, sensor, feeler, being in polite nature, all that fits into one other kind of individuals. where if I hold that kind of 4-letter words, I fit into several kind of job. Where I have 4-letter kind of words, I hold different kinds of personality. On top of it, if you want to verify who are all the people who has got 4-letter words. For example, you have got ENFP kind of personalities. Then see who is Oscar Wilde. Wow, Oscar Wilde, what a man. We can imagine we have Oscar Wilde's trait. We feel privileged to be in their kind of personality. We feel high about our own selves. I hope you have enjoyed this video, and let me take you to the quiz time. It's time for quiz. Is personality based on external characteristics of an individual? True or false? Yes or no? I hear an answer. Yes. It is also based on external characteristics to some extent, but definitely it is not the only means to define an individual. List the various factors that contributes an individual's personality. You know, that's a flow diagram where 3 different clusters have been there. The body chemic, the aura, personal factor, psychological factor, and societal factor. How many keys are there to know an individual's personality? What are the keys? What are the keys? Remember about the keys. How many? You want me to answer? No. This I don't want to answer because I want you to recollect. There are dash types of personality types. Do we have numbers? In the bracket I have given it as type or types. There are more than 4 into 4, 16. There are 16 plus types of personality types amongst the individuals. Who is a spiritual leader? This was the post that has shown by Dalai Lama. Spiritual leader is a person who is spiritually leading the globe, who works for the better peace.